Hello, it's Dawn from Lighthouse Tapestry, and we're going to be taking a look at the astrology of the 26th of October all the way to November 2nd. So we do have a lot of energy starting with the Mercury-Mars conjunction, and that is going to play out energy-wise through this weekend. And then we also have the energy of this grand water trine that's going to continue really all the way through mid-December. So I do want to show you the chart. We're going to start with actually, so let me make sure you can see what I'm seeing here. We're going to start actually with the 2020-degree conjunction of Mercury and Mars in Scorpio. So news is going to be coming out, and we are going to be getting that again. Mercury is going to continue on all the way to 6 degrees of Sagittarius, and then is going to retrograde back to 20 degrees. So this is where the retrograde point is starting, is at 2047. We do have, this was the new moon in Libra. And it's interesting, at the full moon in Taurus, Venus will be at that 28 degrees when we hit that full moon energy in Taurus. So it feels like that's going to be a very powerful full moon. And take a look at maybe what you were trying to manifest in the spring with the new moon in Taurus. I think I was looking at different ways of manifesting abundance. So go back and take a look at that energy for yourself. Now, what is happening here is, as soon as we had the new moon, and this is why I pulled up this particular date, is that the moon then continued into Scorpio, and it began the start of this grand water trine. Now, the water trine is including this energy of Neptune and Saturn. Neptune is now at 29 degrees of Pisces and will remain at 29 degrees of Pisces until well into next till the first part of next year. It actually, I believe, moves out on January 27th. And then Saturn will come into Aries then, I believe, on the 14th of February. And then they have their conjunction on the 20th of February. So in the meantime, we've got this grand water trine that keeps being refortified, basically, is what it feels like. So there's a lot of water in the chart between now and December, because as everything enters into Scorpio, it reactivates this grand water trine. So the moon was the first to do that. And then you will have Mercury continuing on. And the interesting thing, and let me just move to a different chart so you can see this a little bit better. This is one that now Neptune has changed signs. See, Neptune is now at 29 degrees. And again, we'll stay at 29 degrees this entire time, the very last degree of the zodiac. Endings. This is bringing about endings. And it's going to get even juicier when Uranus moves back into Taurus, which is going to be later on in November. So this is what we're having and what we're looking at. This is going to be at 29 degrees. Mercury is also going to be moving forward and will hit 29 degrees as well. So it'll be Mercury at 29, it'll be Neptune at 29, and it'll be Jupiter at 24. So what else happens to be around this degree? Black Moon Lilith. Right? So I do feel like there are going to be things coming out regarding women, because we had that new moon that was at 28, and then the full moon will have Venus at that 28 degree of Libra, where she has strength, and she will be opposite Chiron at that time. Eris is also at this degree. So Eris and Jupiter and Chiron are square. You can see it in here. And it's a grand, well, this won't be a grand T-square, but this definitely is going to be with this energy of Chiron and Jupiter being squared. So there is a lot of family issues that I think are going to be healed. And that may just mean you're able to move forward from it. It doesn't mean that there's some kind of reconciliation. It just means that you are past it and you're moving on. And I think that is a beautiful way to heal some of the energy, because some people just will never understand their power to hurt other people. And they keep repeating the behavior because they haven't learned anything. So if that's the case, this is your opportunity to move forward from that. And we are getting more and more the energy of people going towards their own tribe. And I feel that is what's coming forward with all this feminine energy that's happening. So this is still that grand water trine. The Mercury comes through. Then once Mercury leaves and then enters Sagittarius and gets to 6 degrees, Mars is on its way through. So it's a continued movement through. So let's go ahead and go on to the next chart, which is actually for October 29th. And Halloween week is kind of crazy. So the reason I find this really interesting is, again, we have Neptune is remaining at 29 degrees. We now have Saturn at 25 degrees, still going retrograde. It will turn direct at 2509. And we have Mars now at 25. So Mars is at 25 in a trine with Jupiter at 24, almost at 25, is at 2453. And we have Saturn at 25. So you have a very, very strong grand water trine. And you have Pluto is at the other end of this. It's only about 6 degrees away. The moon on this day actually is conjunct the ascendant and conjunct Pallas Athena. The other interesting thing is that 3i Atlas is the closest it will get to the sun. And when it's at that spot, it will be at, I want to make sure I get this right, 22 degrees, 45 minutes of Libra. So that would be right here in Libra, right near Venus. And to me, that is, again, definitely the energy of us being able to connect with that feminine energy that's in Libra. The other thing that I think is going to happen just as a physiological basis is, because it's so close to the sun and it's so near the time of the full moon, and we are calling this a supermoon because it's the closest it gets to the Earth in its orbit, and it will appear larger in the sky. But those kind of supermoons also cause seismic activity. And I think with we are having 3i Atlas on the other side of the sun, I think that will activate the sun in certain ways, just because of its nearness to the sun. So I think we may be getting some increased sun activity because of that, and I think that will affect us as well. There are different satellites that are in that area of the sky that we can't see right now, and we probably won't be getting any information from, because the sun is in the way and it's not able to send us information that we'll actually get a look at 3i Atlas again once it gets past that, and that'll be more into November, like later November during that time. So we are going to be having this full moon energy, and let me see if I can just, if I have any, I don't think I have it up here, so I'll go back here for a second. That full moon energy is going to be at 13 degrees of Taurus. So the sun will be in Scorpio at 13 degrees. So the sun is going to then also be completing this grand water trine, and there's a 0-degree Mercury here, which is in an opposition to Uranus at 0 degrees, right before Uranus is ready to enter into Taurus for the last time in 85 years. So I think that is very interesting energy. Mars is going to be approaching that as well. There is going to be news going on. So this actually is October 29th. And so by, I would say, the first part of the week, we're going to be having the activation of the water trines and finishing up the energy of some of the squares with Jupiter and Chiron. But I think also we are going to have a lot of news coming out. It's going to be Mars talking to Uranus, and Jupiter is right there. Jupiter is going to continue forward. Mars is going to continue forward. Mars will eventually be going in to an opposition with Uranus. And then when Mercury stations retrograde, Mercury will be going back. The sun will be moving forward. So all during this time, it's the moon, then Mercury, then Mars, then the sun, and then Venus is going to be coming through. So all during this time, and Mercury's retrograde again will be affecting it. So you're talking about Mercury, Venus, Mars, the sun, and the moon. All of the personal planets are having a part in this grand water trine. I also think we're going to be seeing a lot of news regarding water, the abundance of water. I think we're also going to be seeing things related to when things happen militarily with regards to water and boats and things. The dog is snooping. So I would say we need to be very careful of that. The other big thing that I believe will be happening is Saturn will be stationing direct. I will actually go look up that date. That'll be more into November. But whenever Saturn stations in a water sign, there is always some big headline related to water in some way. One of the times that Saturn stationed, it was when there was the explosion of that mini sub that people had gone down to look at the Titanic. And I think that we may see something in relation to some kind of water event again. And it probably is going to be more difficult news, I believe. So hopefully it won't be a matter of a big pollution event. I was concerned about that. So we'll see how that plays out yet. But really, I think the one thing that we should really pay attention to is set our intentions for what we want the planets to symbolize. We can be overwhelmed by the water, we can be overwhelmed by emotions, but we can also set intentions for manifestation instead. And that would be the energy of what can come through when you're using Neptune and Jupiter and Mercury and Mars and the sun and the moon and Saturn, a long-term manifestation goal. You have all these planets that are in water. And they're all taking turns keeping this grand water trine going. So let's use it to our benefit and make sure that you always give the planets a job. They are there to work for you. So thank you for watching. I will say goodbye, and let me just close this off saying that we still have our Wednesday lives. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you join us then. Check out our channel. We are always happy to have new viewers, and like and subscribe. So I will see you soon. My name is Dawn, and I will see you next Wednesday.